Today's guest is Hermes, a man who believes America has lost its ways and that the very iterations shaping young minds are built on lies.
Realizing that the school system, what I'm being taught is a fucking lie. The people telling me what to think, what to believe, that are teaching me, they don't know anything themselves.
Hermes made it his life's mission to protect what he calls the foundation of identity, race, masculinity, tribe. He argues that the push for the progress is really an attempt to erase who we are at the core.
There's just something off about them. We were put into groups, we were put into tribes for a reason. God did it, or whatever, nature, evolution, whatever it might be. We want to stay in our tribes, we want to be tribal. It's instinctual for a reason. They're literally trying to push it out of us.
For Hermes, America should remain mostly white. He says immigration weakens the country, helping Americans first, preserving and expanding the Caucasian race is his life's mission.
Masculinity is under attack. If you want to take over a nation, if you want people to obey, you're gonna make men soft, because then they can't rebel. You can take control of them.
He insists masculinity itself is under siege, and that the society of weak men is a society that cannot resist control.
Some people just need to be entertained, just dulled down, and maybe they'll stay in line.
From questioning schools to defending the tribes to warning about fallen masculinity, Hermes embodies a worldview many call extreme and he calls survival. In this conversation, we unpack Hermes' unapologetic worldview, race, masculinity, tribe, and in the system he believes are designed to weaken America. Welcome to Stallion Confidential, guys. And I actually don't even have an introduction for today's guest because he's worldwide famous and he's pretty controversial for some reasons. And I don't know why. You must know why, so that's why we are here. I am on the neutral end to hear the guy, because if you truly want to judge a person, you should hear their side of the story as well. Because when all of these controversial influencers get famous online, we only see one part of their lives, one side of their stories, but we actually don't even bother to know the person it's themselves. So this platform, this podcast, it's all about him, his story, his life, and what led him to call himself Hermes. So Hermes, welcome to Stallion Confidential. And tell us more about how your journey has shaped you into the person you are.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Glad to have, I guess a brown person who actually wants to hear me out, maybe not judging me from the content I do post. So
better brown than black, so.
Some might say that.
Hermes, so why the name Hermes? But what's your real name?
I'd rather not share. It's not hard to find my name if people want to find it.
Right.
But, I used Hermes, however you want to say it. I don't.
But why exactly that name? Then?
Yeah. So obviously my real name, it's a little difficult to pronounce.
Okay.
So I knew it wouldn't have the it factor, I guess. Because for social media, you need a name, you need like a brand.
Right.
Everything like that.
Right.
But I chose Hermes or Hermes because it was Greek, the messenger god.
Right.
And what I wanted to do with my platform was to spread a message. Obviously, some people might think the way I'm spreading the message isn't the best, or they'd like to see it in a different way, or maybe they see that I'm biased. And obviously, I am biased.
Right.
Obviously, I have my own opinions.
Right.
Nobody is fully unbiased.
Right.
So, yeah, it's also the planet of Mercury, and my astrology sign, was ruled by Mercury, and so I don't know, it felt like a good fit for me, and yeah, it just had a nice ring to it.
Astrology sign. Well, I know a lot of these Twitter junkies out there with no face and no name are posting and shit talking about you, and they would say astrology is, well, kind of feminine. What do you have to say to those people?
Yeah, these people can talk all day long from anonymous accounts. They'll shit on whatever I do, whatever I say, whatever I try to do, if it's true, if it's not, whatever. They'll shit on you no matter what. They'll find anything. But, if you actually look into it, I think J.P. Morgan had a quote, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. So, if people at the top use it, if people who are clearly in a better position than, you know, you are as a pleb whining from an anonymous account on Twitter or wherever it might be. Maybe there's something to it, right? Maybe they're gatekeeping. Maybe they're calling it a Jewish psyop, whatever names, labels they put on it for a reason. Maybe they don't want you to use it. And I mean, if you look deeper, you look at some events that happen or some people that were born on significant astrological dates, it all kind of starts to make sense.
And I know your birthday, but would you be comfortable sharing your birthday out to the public?
Yeah, I mean, my birthday is September 11th, 2004.
Would you think, or would you like to assume that that might have a significance to you and to help you shape your personality, like kind of because you bring in people down to your page and it gives them a sense of like, maybe what he's talking about might have some truth to it, and it's like they shakens their core beliefs, what they're told to believe in, like their programming, as we call. Would you say your astrology or birthday has a role to play with it?
Yeah, 100%. Everything has a role to play. You know, the place you're born, your upbringing, obviously your environment, external factors, but obviously where the planets were, what days of the calendar that it was when you were born. All these things have a factor, have a part to play. And the people who say like numerology isn't real or astrology isn't real, I mean, the universe is literally all numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, someone might ask, what are numbers? Well, they're nothing and everything at the same time. Like, did we invent numbers, or were numbers already there? We just found them. So, I mean, you can't really grasp or wrap your head around it, but it's something that exists. We can't fully explain it yet. So, obviously, numbers have a factor. People can debate how big of an impact they do have, but they definitely have an impact.
You just mentioned numerology, so that makes me think I cannot go just pass by not mentioning the famous numerologist out on the internet, Gary the Numbers Guy. So we also saw you on his podcast. Yeah. And what's your take on numerology? Like, how do you use it from day-to-day lives, and how can people learn from it and apply it and don't worship it instead?
Yeah, shout out to Gary. He's a great guy. I think he decodes numerology the best out of everyone.
Right.
Basically, everything I learned was from him, was from GG33. And before anybody says, you know, Gary is trying to use me as to subvert the movement, anything like that, Gary's not my manager. I do know him. I have met him. He's a great guy. He's never backstabbed me, never paid me a dime, never put me on. I guess he put me on his podcast, but I mean, that's it. But that's as far as it goes. But yeah, I mean, if people want to learn about it, I would say go to GG33, go to Gary. I think he decodes it the best. I know some other accounts, you know, have some things to say about it, but the thing you have to look for is just look for evidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look in their personal lives. Like when you see Gary, he has children. He has a wife of, I think, 20 years. He has money before he even made it on social media. So you look at that and clearly there's something there, right? He's using something that works instead of someone, you know, living extremely broke who's been divorced 3 times. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
So just look for evidence.
And Gary himself applies his teachings to like his life, and as we can both agree, like we met him and we've seen like how significant and exponentially successful he is by applying this knowledge to his life. What would you say to people who say this is quote unquote devil's knowledge?
I mean, I could see how it could be used for evil, but it doesn't mean the knowledge is evil. I mean, everything can be used for good or bad, right? I think it's just neutral. It's something that's there. And I mean, it shouldn't be for everyone. That's why some of this knowledge should be gatekept, because some people are evil. They will try to, you know, fuck you over or try to fuck other people over. So some of it should be gatekept. But yeah, I don't really see how knowledge can be inherently evil. But yeah, I mean, I don't worship it. I don't think anybody worships it. Maybe some people do. Right. But it's just like a tool to use.
What would you say? That's my personal question to you, because you said knowledge shouldn't be worshipped and shouldn't be given to everyone and handed out to everyone.
Yeah.
But isn't that what you are doing on your channel, to show people a side that they are told it's right to believe, but yet it's backstabbing them without them even realizing it? Because we were in downtown yesterday, and we looked at people. You were wearing awesome shirt. I'll put an image right here. But Why would you want to like educate people or tell them or give them a different perspective or the right perspective in your eyes to shake them and to like wake them up?
Yeah, so I mean, again, I'm not saying my perspective is right. I believe it's right, but I'm not saying everyone should believe it's right. I'm giving them a different perspective than what they're taught in school or what they see every day on the news or whatever on these platforms, because it's so one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure you can agree with that. So I'm giving them a different perspective. Obviously, I do it in a humorous way. You know, people call it a little bit of bullying. Sure, I might I might do that. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to give people another perspective, and hopefully it gets some gears grinding in people's brains and they could come to their own conclusion. Like, I'm sure my views will evolve as time goes on. I know I'm wrong about a lot of things, and I'm not afraid to admit that, but I'm going to speak out on what I believe, and, try to make people think the same way, because I mean, a lot of people are brainwashed and they don't think for themselves. And if you actually pull on the string of their beliefs, it all starts to unravel, and they're kind of like starstruck, like, why do I even think this way? Most people never took the time to question why do they believe the things that they believe.
Right. And what are a few things you think you're wrong about?
I mean, obviously, I think I'm right about everything right now.
Right.
Like, obviously not 100%, but I think I have a good grasp on the world and how it works, how things play out. But again, they will evolve. I'm not sure exactly, because if I knew, I would I would believe differently.
You think your ego, like every man has an ego, has a part to play with it, and you think that could probably make you do something or say something that might catch up to you later? Well, it's driven by all ego, or do you think it's very much calculated?
I mean, I am pretty impulsive, I'm not going to lie. And sometimes my ego does kick in, but I'm sure everyone's does. And
Right.
what would you be without your ego? Be a blob of nothing with no ambition, because why would you try at anything?
Right.
So, yeah, sure, maybe some things might catch up to me. Some things already have, things that I've said, and I don't regret anything. I'm not going to apologize for anything I said.
Right.
Like I said in the moment, I meant it. Okay, now I changed my mind. Who cares? And I'll say that, but I'm not going to apologize. Oh, you got your feelings hurt because of it. I don't really give a shit. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it.
And what about like people in the future? Let's say you change your opinion about something you believe so strongly right now, and in future, in 3 years from now, you're like, oh, well, this guy was a grifter. He just grifted for some money. Someone paid you to say something.
Yeah, I mean, people can say that. I can't change everyone's mind. So people can think I'm a grifter. If I genuinely know what I'm doing isn't grifting, I'm not lying, and I'm being genuine, I don't really care what anyone else thinks. Like, the people who call me a grifter, I don't really care about them. I don't care about their opinions.
Right.
The people who I do care about, they never call me a grifter for some weird reason. The people that I do look up to or whatever, they might seem cool. I want to talk with them, do whatever. They never say I'm a grifter, because they realize how it works. The people who talk the most shit are always below you. They don't accomplish anything. They're just jealous. So I don't pay any attention. Sure, I have. Sometimes it gets to me, but I just try to think it doesn't.
We see what you are on screen. We see you right now. We hear you out. What led you to be this way? Like, how was your childhood growing up? Give us more about your background.
Yeah, so believe it or not, I was a pretty shy kid throughout school, mostly.
Yeah.
Until like maybe the last few years of high school. Maybe I started, I guess, talking more, kind of expressing how I actually felt or the thoughts I did think.
Right.
But yeah, I was pretty quiet. I moved schools a decent amount. I think I went to like 5 different schools until like high school. So I guess from bouncing from place to place, I didn't really have too many friends. Obviously, I had a kind of weird name. My parents came from a different country.
Right.
Like, I had an accent growing up for sure.
Right.
Some people say I still do. I don't know. I don't think I do, but
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what more there is to it. I was kind of shy. Tried to fit into places. And then I guess once I matured throughout high school, I kind of actually thought things through, kind of realized what kind of mattered to me.
Right.
And just stopped caring what people think. And I think that's a big thing that people still struggle with, even adults.
Right.
They care too much what other people think. And you have to realize, first, most people only care about themselves.
Right.
And they don't even pay attention. They don't even realize what you're doing wrong. And if they do care, why the fuck do you care? Who are these people? You're never going to interact with them. why do you care what they think? They're nobodies in the world. So once you realize that, then it's like, what am I scared of?
Right. And was there a specific point in your life that made you realize that nothing else matters? It's like, it's me, my mission, and I'm gonna do this. And I'll say fuck you to naysayers because they're always gonna be there. But I only have a close circle of people around me, and I'm only gonna listen to them and only gonna let them impact me. And this is who I am. So what I'm trying to say basically is, was there a point in your life that maybe made you the way you are right now?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was a specific point. It was just, I guess, multiple little events that happened throughout my life that,
Right.
Obviously shaped me to who I am today. Yeah, I wouldn't really say there was a big point, to be honest. I don't know, just maybe just slowly I started, I guess, opening up, obviously maturing,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. And then, I don't know, I guess I realized in the school system,
Right.
what I'm being taught is a fucking lie. Like, I don't want to go to college. I don't care. I don't. The people telling me what to think, what to believe, that are teaching me, they don't know anything themselves. Like, why should I listen to people who are the same as me that don't know anything, that are trying to figure things out? And again, it wasn't like one moment, but I'm just gonna try to do what I want to do, what feels right. I do want to make a good impact, a positive impact on the world. I obviously want to experience life to the fullest. It sounds kind of gay. It sounds like something a woman would say. I just want to go live my life. But
Right.
I mean, it's true. Like, what else are you gonna do?
I wouldn't call it gay because I would call it having self-awareness in that sense. All right. Well, what does Hermes's love life look like, or looked like at one point, or is that something you're comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest problems I have, I guess, in the sphere I'm in is a lot of these people, and it's not just Christians. I mean, usually there are like Catholic Christian people who they're like waiting for marriage. They're self-proclaimed incels, and I'm sure most of them couldn't get laid if they tried. But I mean, most of them don't even give it a good shot.
Right.
Like, yes, women are messed up nowadays, especially in the U.S. Like, I live in Miami. It's probably the worst quality of woman you will find anywhere in the U.S. But like, that's not gonna stop me. I mean, everyone has all men have a urge to, be with a woman.
Yes.
Right?
Stick it somewhere.
So, I mean, if you don't do that, a lot of these incels or whatever they call themselves, they're like porn addicts or whatever. They're like creepy. They clearly something off in their brain.
Right.
So if you don't release that energy on a woman or whatever, it's gonna come out in different ways.
Right.
So a lot of these people are like kind of not right in the head. So I mean, obviously, don't let it consume you. Like, a lot of these people have a worldview that it's one extreme or the other, the incel or a simp.
Right.
But, interact with women. Sometimes you're going to go periods in your life where you don't have one. Other times you're going to have a girlfriend and she consumes a lot of your time.
Right.
It's find like a balance that works for you. And you're not going to have children at the end of the day, the goal is to have children, right?
Right.
To carry on your bloodline, carry on your legacy. So if you don't find a woman, how are you ever going to do that?
Right. And, well, how many children are you planning on having?
Yeah, I mean, 6 at least.
Right.
If more, the better. I mean, at a certain point, I feel like there's too many. You can't really see all of them. You probably don't even know all their names. So I want to have quality and quantity because obviously the white population is declining.
Right.
And I want to try to play my part in it. Obviously, a few children won't change much, but it starts with one person.
Right. What about those people who are like, well, I'm gonna have multiple women, baby mamas, and I have children popping out of every one of them? Like, what is that mindset? Something you resonate with?
Not exactly. I mean, I see the point of view of why you would want to do that. It's like kind of a conqueror's mindset.
Right.
Of, you go and impregnate as many women as possible. I understand that, but we live in a kind of more advanced world nowadays.
Right.
Where, I mean, you're not a savage. You're not going to go fucking rape women and tell them to carry your children. You're going to try to have quality children, right?
Right.
Who can contribute to society. And, some cultures obviously still do that to this day. And you kind of see how those people turn out. Whereas other cultures, they focus more on quality.
Right.
And you see how those people turn out. And obviously there's a place for both. Obviously, if a population is declining and you need children, maybe that's a good way to do it.
Right.
Go about things.
So there's a group of people that they're just savages. They go out, they have multiple women, multiple children, and on the one part, you're like, well, that shouldn't be the case because we live in advanced civilization.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you claim, and it's actually, even the stats say so, that white population is on a decline.
Yeah.
And you think so white people should be savages now? Like, is that something they should believe in or they should do because the numbers are going down? Or is there a better solution?
No, I'm not saying like be like savage, but I'm saying like you could be polyamorous,
Right.
you know, have multiple women. If there's so many self-proclaimed incels who are never going to have children,
Right.
I mean, at least somebody can impregnate these women. And again, it's not all men, because for obviously you need finances. You need to be a person who can actually handle that kind of thing. That most people can't.
Right.
I'm talking like 1%, probably even less, who actually can do that.
Right.
Then that could work. But no, most people should have one man, one wife, and a few children, or however many. That's how society will work best in their household and everything else.
And how is that going to work out now? Because men are getting laid least nowadays, and the stat shows that men haven't gotten laid in about 2 to 3 years. Like, if you ask, and the average man who is a virgin is like up to like 25, 26 in America.
Yeah.
How is that going to up the numbers for white population? Because men don't have much options, and all these women want top 1, 5, 10% of the men. How is that going to factor out?
I mean, I would even say it's all women. Like, if you live in big cities, which obviously most people do, yeah, sure, the women, they have an attitude. They want money. They think they're worth more than they actually are, sure.
Right.
But, I mean, I've been to some of these small towns or even like suburbs that have a decent population. There are women out there who will, marry an average guy who has like a decent job, who tries to take care of himself.
Right.
Like, if you're not a complete slob, you shouldn't really have that big of a problem. Maybe I'm wrong, obviously. I would say I'm better looking than most guys, so maybe I don't have this problem. But, I mean, I've seen some ugly motherfuckers get women. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
Like, work on something. Work on your strength. If you're a fat or ugly motherfucker, at least be funny.
Right.
Like, do something, right?
Right. And what about those what we call it? Those women who think they deserve more than what they are actually worth. Who decides their worth? Like, what is the standard of having a woman's worth nowadays in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, you can't even blame the woman, right? If they hop on a dating app and all the guys who are like jacked, they're making $1 million a year, have everything like on paper, are giving them attention, then obviously they're gonna think they deserve more than they are. So I mean, it's honestly it's up to the men. Don't be a fucking simp.
Right.
Don't don't pay more than it's worth.
What do you think of woman's body count?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, we live in a day and age where these women are not virgins. I mean, I was in high school. These women, there was a small percentage of women who were virgins.
Right.
So, I mean, again, the average guy is not going to get a virgin. The average guy, he can keep dreaming about that, but it's not going to happen. So pick what you can get.
Would you agree or disagree with the part where you're like, well, we live in the modern world and civilizations have evolved? When religions were made and like old back in the society, that women weren't allowed promiscuity because no one would know who the father is, and there weren't any birth control options. Now the technology have evolved. Doesn't mean that, well, it's okay to be promiscuous, but do you think now promiscuity or the standard of a man having a virgin to himself has risen a little bit? So if, let's say, a woman have had some couple of experiences and now she wants to settle down, do you think a man should accept it? Or is it okay for a woman to turn around and be like, acknowledge her mistakes, or maybe some relationship she didn't knew how to navigate, but now she wants to settle down, and she thinks she should deserve this caliber of a man, yet she has no purity to offer to the man. What's your take on that?
I mean, yeah, the guy's going to have to accept it.
Right.
What else is he going to get? He's either going to get nothing or a woman that has some mileage on her.
Right.
Obviously, I think it's disgusting. And obviously, men should do better jobs of raising their daughters.
Right.
But, I mean, we live in a broken world. We live in a society that is like so far gone that you're going to have to make compromises. Like, not everyone is. but a lot of people are. The majority of people are. The majority of men are gonna have to get with women who might have an attitude and they don't fucking deserve it.
Right.
So I mean, like, what's the other option? You're not gonna have children. You're gonna be alone. Like, that's what I do not get. Like, what's the other option? I mean, I don't know.
Well, why is it disgusting for a woman to have a high body count, in your opinion?
I mean, it's something intuitive. Like, I'm sure you have the same feeling.
I just want to know.
No, I know. It's I mean, it's obviously physically, whatever STDs can spread.
Right.
They get, even on the emotional side, they get an emotional attachment. Most women aren't like men. They can't sleep around without emotions. I'm sure maybe a few women can, but it's extremely rare. And obviously on the spiritual sense, I think there's something like spiritually that, I can't prove.
Right.
But there's some sort of, soul bonding or something going on that, damages their soul. And you could see how these women act who have been promiscuous, even from my experience. They act, something's off about them.
What's a body count that's accepted?
I mean, 0. Like, if my wife is gonna bear my children, or a woman is gonna bear my children,
right,
it's gonna be 0. Because I mean, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around that. It's so repulsive to me that I just can't.
And I think it should be accepted. I mean, it's just a preference, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But what if she's not white?
I mean, I could never fall in love with a woman who's not white. Like, that's just my stand. I've seen attractive women who are brown, black, whatever they might be.
Right.
Sure, they're attractive on a physical level.
Right.
But I could never like bond with them emotionally or spiritually, because they're just, I don't know. There's something about it that they're just not like me. We have different things that we care about. We have different values, and sure, I mean, it's not all white women either.
Right.
Some white women I will get along with better than others, and but yeah, I mean, it would just never be a scenario that's possible for me.
Would you say you're socially conditioned for that?
No, I think it's the opposite. I mean, they're trying to push it out of us that you're racist if you have a preference. If you want to date in your race, what's wrong with you? You don't find black women attractive?
Right.
For the most part, I don't. I've seen a few attractive ones, but for the most part, they look like ogres to me. And the ones that are pretty beautiful, they're usually mixed with like a lot of European DNA.
Yeah.
And again, it's something that's genetic and it's intuitive. You try to go, at least for me, try to go with someone that looks pretty similar to you. And obviously, I'm not saying like your cousin or whatever.
Oh, okay, I was gonna step on that for I was like, really?
But yeah, you want to be around people. You want to associate with people, talk with people who look like you. And it's not just your race. It's not just your skin color. That's the least of our differences. It goes so much deeper than that. Right.
Or is there an exception that Hermes would make if a woman isn't white? Ever?
No, never.
So it is skin color.
I mean, again, it's not just skin color. I mean, a woman, if a woman is black, she can't have everything that a white woman has except her skin color is different. That's not how it works.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, I mean, everything is intertwined.
Right.
I guess, right? The way they think, the way they feel, the way they act, it's intertwined with their skin color. Race isn't just your skin color. People think it is, but it's literally not. There's studies on this. There's graphs. It shows the way you think, what you believe, how you literally perceive the world. It's all based on race. And it obviously makes sense, and I'm sure it can change over generations. Like I think Asians or the Chinese, I think they increase their IQ level by schooling all their children like from birth and onward. So yeah, through generations, I'm sure you could add some of these traits in their genetics. But I mean, if people have been around for thousands of years, it's so encoded in our DNA, in our blood, that I mean, it can't be changed at this moment. Maybe in the future, but not at this moment. Right.
I do have a very different perspective. As I was questioning, I was going back and forth with myself about this, that let's say there are religions thousands and thousands of years old. Yeah. And there are people who are still trying to preserve that and have that as a part of their lifestyle. Let's say Hindus, like 5,000 years ago, Christianity 2,000 years ago, Muslims 13, 14, 1,500 years ago. So they're trying to have that sort of lifestyle that was made, the religion when it was made thousands of years ago in today's day and age, and sometimes we do see that it doesn't fit the society or the norms, or like it does end up offending a lot of other people around. Let's say the mass invasion in the Europe, like you see like on the street, it looks like third world country. I'm sure you've been to Paris and London, as we were talking behind the scenes. So having that from thousands and hundreds of years ago in today's day and age, it doesn't fit. So would you say would you see yourself similar to like holding onto that white pride, or like the genetic pull of like having more white people around? Would you count yourself similar to those religious people?
I mean, that's a good point. At some point, we might have to evolve.
Right.
Maybe I'm trying to fix something that's unfixable. Maybe
right.
The next evolution is everyone looks the same, and there's literally no race. We evolved past that, but
right.
I don't know. There's something intuitive that makes me want to preserve it. That each race has its differences. Every race is unique. It has its positives and negatives. It has what it's good at, what it's bad at. And I think we should preserve it. And I mean, if everybody gets mixed, I think there's also something on a soul level. We're literally different on a soul level. And I'm not saying one is higher than the other, nothing like that, but we're just different. So, I mean, even with like some of these mixed race people, they literally don't have an identity. Like, and I know some of them, and there's just something off about them. And, I can't explain it scientifically. And I'm sure there might be, maybe not, maybe they try to suppress it. They do a lot of stuff, but there's something on a soul level that's, we were put into groups, we were put into tribes for a reason, whether you want to believe that God did it or whatever, nature, evolution, whatever it might be. We were put into groups for a reason. We want to stay in our tribes. We want to be tribal. It's instinctual for a reason. And they're literally trying to push it out of us. So maybe it is the next step for evolution. Maybe it's a bullet that people have to bite, but I think we are in groups for a reason.
So I've two things, like two rebuttals to that. Like I want you to give me a perspective. And firstly, you are into astrology and numerology, and this is the age of Aquarius.
Yeah.
And I think Gary mentioned in one of his podcasts that Aquariuses do like to date people outside of their race.
Yeah.
And it's the age of Aquarius, and there's a lot of mixed race people moving on from a certain time point, and now it's becoming more and more common. So how can you stop a literal age from reversing? Because the age is meant for this.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is it something that we can't reverse?
Right.
I understand it. There's more mixed race couples, but does that mean everyone has to be mixed? Like, I don't think that's the case. Right. I mean, I don't know. My theory is the mixed people, again, they don't have an identity. A lot of them are very confused. Right. They don't know where they belong. And I've seen this with even some social media personalities that they keep like flip-flop. They seem like almost bipolar. So I think once we pass this age, there's going to be a need for people who, for lack of a better word, are pure-blooded, that are from the same, that have been mixed with their same people from their group. And I don't know, maybe it's not possible. Maybe I'm delusional for thinking that, but
you don't. What have you ever gotten a DNA test?
No, never.
I mean, I'm sure you'd be mixed of some European and some other descendants. So I guess you're not just like what they call, for lack of better terms, like Caucasian or like just one pure race. I'm sure you have some mix going on in you as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, if people mix from European tribes, they're a lot more similar than mixing with someone from Africa or India or even Asia.
Right.
Like, yes, if you go back 5,000 years, I'm sure some people came and there's a little bit of percentage in there. And I'm sure there's not many people who are 100% pure, maybe even nobody. But you are a lot more similar with people who look like you that are from different countries because, I mean, they look similar to you. I mean, even the European culture, sure, they differ a little bit, but they're pretty similar for the most part. Yeah, and someone from Zimbabwe in Africa, the cultures just don't mix at all.
Right, and I mean that makes me question myself that no wonder like Europeans ruled the better part of a whole millennia over the rest of the world. Like Asia, you look at like even America, but would you say like, okay, having European tribes, Asian tribes, Indian tribes at that time, like thousands of years ago, they were tribal, okay, makes sense. But now, again, modern day, we've evolved. We're in a society where travel is accessible. People can go from one part to the other part of the world in a matter of a few days.
Yeah.
That people are geographically free to relocate. They have more access to more money, more resources. So we're becoming freer than just sticking to a tribe.
I mean, I don't know if it's calling it freer, and I don't know if it's evolving. I think there's a certain point where you can evolve that it's like a bell curve. You evolve to a certain point, then it's all downhill. Like with AI, for example, if we put a Neuralink in our brain and then people don't have to think, you could just download information to your brain. Is that really evolving? I mean, it's not really. You're not using more of what the universe, what God gave you in your body, in your mind. You're just putting something external in there. I'll say it's devolving, and people like sitting down most of the day. Their spines are decompressing. They're starting to have physical problems, whereas like 50, 100 years ago, people were physically stronger. The testosterone levels were higher. So at what point is evolution de-evolution? I think that's my take on it.
Testosterone levels were higher. I can agree to that. But we have the strongest people today, though. Like the world's strongest man, the most jacked man, the most fastest man. Like those old records are being set right now in the present. We look at past and we're like, oh wow, they had it all right. Yes, I mean they had less part of like genetic mutation with their foods. Their foods were clean because they were just growing on their own and they were eating them, and they were consuming like local foods. And now we have access to this plethora of like menu across like grocery stores. We don't know what to get, what not to get, what might be healthy for you, what might not be healthy for you. I totally get that. But right now in the present, we see more genetically gifted people than ever before. Then how can you claim that looking back, people were healthier?
I mean, I would say the majority was. And again, there's two extremes of the spectrum.
Right.
More people are deformed and something's clearly off about them than ever. And then, some people are stronger, faster, better.
Right.
Again, it's a trade-off. There's just the extremes are getting more and more, I guess, every passing generation. And I mean, with the access of whatever steroids, and I mean, if someone accomplishes a feat, someone beats the previous record, it's easier for the next person to beat the record. A lot of it is mental. Like, I think it was a story of someone who broke the 3 or 4 minute mile. Okay. Somebody broke it, and then multiple people after him broke it. It's because it was a mental limitation. It wasn't a physical limitation.
Gotcha.
It was mental. So if somebody passes a record, breaks a goal, whatever it might be, it was all mental. The next person can go a little further.
Gotcha. That's a good way to put it. So what moment in Harrison hit you the hardest emotionally?
In Harrison?
Like the interview you had.
Oh, with the most racist man?
Right.
What hit me the hardest? I mean, I think it was what he said at the end. Like, that's why I kind of cut it. I thought it was like a perfect place to cut it. It was a very short interview, but he said if you put, white people on an island or on something along these lines, he said they'll build a plane and like fly to you to a different planet. If you put black people, ants and the black people will accomplish literally the same nothing. So that kind of hit me. And if you look at inventions and you look at innovations and you look at the people who accomplish most of these things, most of these people were European. Again, it's not to put other races down. It's not to put other people down. But like when white people are so demonized and, we were colonized, we were slave owners, we committed genocide, all this nonsense. I'm trying to push something that white people can be proud of. Because even a lot of people I talk to on the street that are white or people that I know who are white, they're like ashamed. There's something in them that the school system was shoving down their throat. Like you're a piece of shit. You're white. You should be ashamed of yourself. Like you have to pay these people reparations for what you did for them.
Right.
But then you actually look at history. You look at these inventions. You look at the people who accomplished these great things. They're almost all white. So why can't I be proud of what my ancestors did? And I get it. Some people fall down the trap of, oh, my ancestors were this. Then they're fucking jerking off playing video games in their mom's basement.
Right.
Obviously try to outdo them. Take that as inspiration. Don't take it as hope to, accomplish nothing, be nothing in your life. But, you have to be proud because I think that's a great source of inspiration and motivation for a lot of people.
Gotcha. Did anyone's kindness at that podcast like surprise you? Like, were you surprised to find out something about him that you wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have met him in person?
Yeah, I mean, I would say looks are deceiving. Like, obviously, from the outside, he's missing some teeth.
Right.
Kind of looks like a, redneck type of guy,
Right.
a certain, Southern guy that might not be the brightest, but then the way he was speaking like a poet. Obviously, he had a lot of insightful things to say. So, yes, judge books by its cover. That's that's a lot of what I push, but also, give people a chance. Like I say, I generalize groups as a whole, but judge every individual individually. Right? I'm not. If I see a black person or a Jew, I'm not gonna think the black person is gonna rob me. The Jew is gonna try to scam me. I'll give them a chance. And I've met some great people of all races, but again, the exceptions do not disprove the rule.
Would America survive without any racial separation at all?
Will it survive? No, I don't think America. I think America's too far gone. Like I'm not trying to blackpill people.
Right.
Like obviously, I'm gonna try to do my best to so it
Black them.
doesn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at some of these cities, it's very sad. Like I was just in LA like a month ago, and I mean, like there was people smoking crack or injecting heroin at the park in broad daylight by the police with families walking by. I'm like, this is a dystopia. Like this is not right. So, like how do people think this is normal? And I mean, at that point, like how do you fix these people? There's so many of them. That what is there to do? How are you gonna fix it? Like sure, you could slow it down, try to make it better, but I mean, without something drastic, things are not gonna change. Maybe it might happen. Hopefully, I'm proven wrong, but it doesn't seem. I mean, it seems like things are moving in the right direction, but again, I think things are gonna get a lot worse. Then they're gonna get better. And it's gonna be with a lot of bad things, and I'm not sure how the U.S. is gonna go because people want racial separation. They say we can deport all of these races, all non-white people. I'm like, do you realize some of these people have been here for generations?
Who says that?
Okay, people on the internet.
Oh, okay,
Even people I've met in real life, I'm not going to lie,
Right.
say these things, but where are you going to send them? They've been here for generations. Some of them are mixed. So where do they belong? Like if these people have been here for generations, you don't even know what country to send them to. What's going to how does all this work? Like it's completely delusional. So I'm not sure what the solution is.
Wow. And what are a few things that we could say like America can see coming in the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's a tough question. There's gonna be some sort of change of power in the political office, president, how the government works as a whole. I think it's outdated. It's not gonna work anymore. A lot of people are fed up. I think the 2028 election is going to show that maybe a third party might win. And if they don't, if they rig it, there might be something that's big that's going to happen. And again, I don't want to, sound like I don't want to, again, blackpill people, whatever you want to say. But I don't know it's hard to predict these things. I think there might be some sort of civil war, something like that, because a lot of people are fed up. And, it takes one event and things can change like that.
If you could interview anyone from history about race, who's first?
About race? I guess the obvious answer would be like Hitler. Why did he think the ways he did think?
Yeah.
I think that's the obvious answer.
Right.
And obviously, he's a very influential figure throughout history. And obviously, I don't agree with everything he did, but he's a very lied about person. And he had some things to say that people could learn from.
And who would be the person you would interview from history if you have to pick?
I guess I would try to pick the most influential ones. Probably some sort of philosopher like Plato.
Okay. When Rousseau said one nation, one race, what was going through your head?
Not a lot was going through my head, but I definitely agreed with him. I see why he thinks that way. But again, we've we're in a time where, you can't reverse everything that's been done.
Right.
At some point, things aren't going to reverse to how they were in the 1950s. It's not possible. You can dream about it all you want. And sure, it might be the best situation, but is it possible? That's the problem with a lot of people. They think in like if you're not doing it 100% how they want it, like if everything's not right, then what's the point? But at a certain point, you will have to accept that you're gonna have to make some compromises, and some people that you might not agree with 100% will help shape things and will do more than a lot of other people can. And that's the problem with these people, that change is uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah. And some things will have to change. And I'm not saying everything has to change. There are some things that have been tested through time that do work and that we should keep, but not everything can.
Why do you think people are afraid of change? Because at one point they had their glory, they had times, and with good does come bad, and vice versa. So if throughout the change, throughout the history of America, let's just talk for this nation, for this example, if so much has come out of it, and so much change has come out of it, so many like people, the infrastructure, the economy, the constitution have evolved. How like in the 1890s, I think they gave black people right to vote, and in the 1920s they gave women right to vote, and so on and so forth. If you look past the course of 250 years, with the good, the bad has come with it. But also, don't you see why people should embrace the change in one way or the other? Because not every change is good or bad. Sometimes you plant the seed and you wait for it for years and years to blossom and see if whatever comes out of it. And maybe there are some things that you go wrong with, and there are some things you're like, oh, that paid off, like like that crypto coin. So, but don't you think like it's like rejecting death? Like, oh, I don't want to die, but it's inevitable. So just as change is inevitable, death is inevitable as well. So rather than trying to go back and push back in time and to like keep things the way they were at one point, it might have worked at one point for them, they should embrace change.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, things have to change eventually.
Right.
Things can't be stagnant, and it's going to come with good or bad. The pendulum's always going to swing. If things are really good, they're going to get really bad. And if they're really bad, they're going to get really good at a certain point. But I mean, people are just scared of the unknown. Like, and obviously change is something unknown. You don't know where things might go. You don't know how it might feel. So
that can be applied to literally everything in life. Let's say the new girl you're talking to, new relationship. Yeah. You just had a baby. You don't know how is it going to turn out to be. Maybe he grows up and be like, hey, I want to chop my off. You never know. But I know it's scary. Or let's say you're about to start a business, or you just put 50 to 100K in a coin. You never know what's going to happen. But you made the right choice from what you could have in the moment. And where I'm leading with this is Rousseau wanted only white people to join his group, and he's a little too extreme on his end. Wouldn't you agree with that?
No, I don't think he's too extreme. I'd say, black people have their own groups, Jews have their own groups.
Right.
Everyone else has their own groups, but then when white people do, it's extreme. It's a problem. Like, no, it's not. Go fuck yourself. I'll go have my white group if I want.
Right.
And again, people should be free to do what they want. Like I was at the Return to the Land project that Arval is a co-founder at, and they only want white people in that community. Mm-hmm. People are calling out, what the fuck? Like, other people should be included. No, go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. Black people can have their own. Jews have their own groups.
Right.
White people can have their own. So it's literally, it should be the freedom of people having, that should be allowed what they want to do. If they want to live around only white people, or blacks want to live only around black people, what's the problem? Why should I give a shit? Isn't that one of the founding values of America, that you should be able to associate with anyone you want? And now they try to make companies hire, oh, you need a certain amount of black people, you need a certain amount of gay people in your company.
Right. Woman.
Yeah, why are you telling me what to do? I should be able to do what I want. Right.
And I see where you're headed with that, but would you say some form or any form of racism is healthy or not healthy? Do you think there are extreme sides of it? Do you think well, if the racism is like watched and it's like monitored by people on their own, well, it's okay. It's okay to do that because it's America, or all of it's unhealthy.
I mean, racism is something that is instinctual in us. Like every group is racist.
And that's based off of a study or just your personal experience?
A personal experience. I'm sure there's probably studies on this that they probably tried to that they don't show on the internet for obvious reasons.
Okay.
But I mean, you go to any country. They go to any country that is majority what the country is. They are racist. They see someone out of their group, out of the ordinary. They feel some sort of way towards it, and it's completely healthy. Like you could literally ask any group, and most of these groups show them. Even in America, a lot of black people say they don't want to hang around whites or they dislike whites.
Oh wow!
And that's fine. You know, the Asians or Indians, they stay within their own groups. They might not say it outright, but they, by the way they behave, they're clearly racist or have their racial preferences. But then a white person says it, it's literally an attack on white people.
Right.
They're trying to push it out of us. If you want to be around white people, if you want to hire white people, if you want a white woman, you want white children, it's all bad.
Right.
And that is just not the case. It's only for one group when every other group has it.
Do you see the similarity between the feminist movement and the racial movement? As in America, let's say, as you just mentioned, like, oh, I want a white woman who's this, and I'll have white children. Oh, you're demonized. And let's say if a man says, I want a woman who's feminine, stay at home, cook and clean, he's demonized as well. Do you see some similarities to it? Do you think it's all part of the big plan?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a plan by mostly a certain group of people. But yeah, they're trying to invert. They're trying to invert everything. They're trying to make women become men. Trying to make men become women.
Right.
They're just trying to destroy society because I mean, if everyone's confused, the men don't have testosterone, the women don't want to have children.
Right.
Like it's so easy to destroy a society and create a slave class that's gonna listen to anything you want. You can tell them whatever you want. If nobody has testosterone to fight back, no one's aggressive, then everyone listens. I mean, we already see that nowadays.
Right.
And I'm not sure how this can be reversed because, I mean, most of the people I meet, they wouldn't stand for anything. They can know something is so wrong, but they would never put anything on the line for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just trying to create a class that will be obedient, that will listen. They can do whatever they want with them.
Would Russo's America be actually safer if it's white? What's your take on that?
I mean, yes, 100% it would be. And I mean, you could just go look at Europe, go look at the crime and like rape rates in England, France versus like Poland that stayed majority white, didn't let in these immigrants. The rape rate actually went down in Poland.
Right.
And they're majority white. And you could look at the rates before the demographics changed in these other European countries. You could see the crime, you could see all this, and it was pretty safe. Usually it was safe, and obviously it's not always 100% safe. Whenever a country's going through hard times, there's going to be poor people. There's going to be people who are trying to steal, kill, whatever. But it's a lot less than when you let in these other immigrants into the country who obviously can't integrate, assimilate in a culture that wasn't made for them.
Right. And if it wasn't made for them, which I can, well, let's say agree for this argument's sake, why would they not want to move to, let's say, a country where their religion is or their laws are accepted, but instead they want to rush into all these white nations? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously all these brown and black people want to live around white people.
Right.
Like, obviously. I mean, white people have made the best countries. They made the best cultures. You look at America, you look at Europe, you look at the British Empire, all this. Like, they literally control the world. Like, when someone thinks of the nations that have the most power,
right,
have the most influence, that have the best whatever, they always think of these white nations. So obviously, if they're incentivized or they're let to come into these countries, it's easier to make money. You could basically do whatever you want. Why the fuck wouldn't you come there? Like,
right.
I could get my head chopped off by some African warlord where I'm from. Fuck, I'll go to fucking London.
Right.
Fuck yeah, I will. I can make money there. I could sell fake chains on the fucking sidewalk.
Right.
And I could do whatever I want. And I'm incentivized. And if I go to jail, I'll get let out the next day.
Right.
Fuck yeah, I'm coming.
Would you live in London if they had Sharia law?
Of course not.
do you see London or Paris or all these European nations having Sharia law in the far-fetched future?
I mean, probably. I don't see how they can reverse it. Like if white people are having, I think in England it's like 1.6 children per couple.
Right.
Like obviously it's below replacement rate. And then these Muslims are having 6, 8, 10 children. Yeah, I mean, if Muslims become the majority of a country and there's already leaders who are Muslim, what the fuck is gonna happen?
Right.
All these Muslims are gonna vote for the guy who's a Muslim who's gonna instill Sharia law on the city and then country, or whatever. So I mean, I don't see a way out of it unless something happens literally tomorrow.
Mm. And as you were mentioning, all the nations were built by these white people, and the best of the best country. Let's say if I have to pick top 5 at this point, they were built by white people. All right. Well, would you say their culture and their traditions are based around Christianity, because that's a big part of white culture as well?
I mean, I would say parts of it, yes, but I mean, you could look at like Ethiopia or whichever, some African countries, like all Christian. I mean, you could see what they built. So it's
Right.
not just Christianity.
Right.
Sure, Christianity played a part of it. My parents are from Lithuania. I go back there. I see the churches. They're beautiful. The architecture is amazing. And it does give people morals. And a lot of people don't have morality by themselves. But I wouldn't say it's just Christianity. Like, sure, it might have played a part. I don't know how big of a part. I don't think it was that big. I would say Europeans could have been pagan or whatever else, but atheist even. I think they could have built amazing societies.
Mm.
So, I mean, yeah, Christianity played a part, but I don't think it played that big of a part.
Well, moving on. What's your take on white? Like, do you think it's demonized excessively, or like people just don't even pay attention to it because we're talking about all the other genocides, and just people just overlook what they should know?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't talk about it because maybe these white people, they aren't getting killed like outright. It's done kind of more slowly. I mean, you can see in the media, it's always like mixed race couples or white people are demonized, whatever it might be. I even saw like on a Mr. Beast video the other day, who is probably a plant, most likely. The cop was black, the criminal was white. And again, if you look at the statistics and you actually look at the demographics
Right.
of the criminals and the cops,
Right.
it's just not how it is. And I mean, you see it everywhere. And then you look at the people who own these media companies.
Right.
Always a specific group of people who
Yes.
do it.
Right.
So someone is obviously pushing it. It didn't come out of nowhere. I mean, you look at the birth rates in Europe, like we said, and white people, they're not going to have children if they don't have money.
Mm.
So they make it hard for people to live, to support themselves. And like, why the fuck? I can't afford children. Like, I can't have children. Even if I want them, I'm not going to raise them in poverty like some other cultures might. But yeah, I mean, they make living hard. They demonize you from the start in the school system. Like I said, like I remember in school, we're taught about slavery, we're taught about World War II, we're taught about colonization, and who did all those things? It's white people. They're taught about all the evils, but then even recently, I learned like a couple months ago that white people were like 97% of the world's inventions. I was never taught about that in school. Why not? That seems like a very important factor.
Wow.
While we are living in America, that still is, I don't know if it is majority white, but some people, I mean, statistically, they say it is. But we're taught about none of that. We're taught about feel guilty that you're white, you're a piece of shit if you're white. And I mean, you see which countries are being forced to accept all these immigrants and migrants. It's white countries. I mean, Africans aren't. Even the Asian countries aren't.
Mm.
Wherever else the South Americans aren't, it's only white countries. And then you look at the groups behind the white countries, and it all becomes very clear that there is some sort of agenda, and they do have some sort of beef against white people from the past, or maybe they're an obstacle, a speed bump in their journey and path to achieve what they want to achieve. So, I mean, once you connect all these dots, it becomes very clear.
You said 97% of the world's inventions were done by white people? Was it like, what year are we talking? Like till today?
Yeah, I believe till today. And again, I don't know how accurate the statistic is.
Okay.
But I mean, I definitely believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, look, there's some website, forgot what it's called exactly, but it's like debunking black inventions. It sounds silly, but
Right.
I mean, you look into it, and like all these inventions that were supposedly done like by like black people, it wasn't even black people. Like they
Huh.
literally stole. Like they put a black
Stole.
person. They didn't steal it, but they
Yeah.
put a black person there to say that he invented it instead of like a white person. It's like why? Why are they doing this?
Wow.
Why? Why?
Well, clearly, let's say, as you're claiming, white people have a lot to offer to the world in that sense. Okay, well, would you think that America would survive without immigrants?
100%. I mean, to say that immigrants add no value is obviously delusional. Obviously, they have
Hmm.
throughout history. But we're at a point where we don't need any more immigrants. We have the enough people here to do what we need. And again, the priorities are so like screwed up that I don't know, why are we accepting immigrants? Like we were at the San Jose campus yesterday, and these people are like, we shouldn't have borders. We should accept everyone.
Right, right,
Country can't function like that.
right.
And once you let in all these people, I mean, there's homeless Americans on the street that have been on the street, and I agree. Some of these people don't want help. They don't. They don't want help. I understand that, but how about let's help our own people first before letting in these wherever they come from,
Right.
even some white people. I think we should have no immigration. We have enough people in the country to accomplish what we need, to fill all the jobs, to have all these roles in the country. We don't need any more immigrants at this moment.
How can you explain that realistically to the companies or the accountants and like sitting higher ups in these Fortune 500s, because they can exploit the value of the dollar to hire these people on the outside because they don't have a green card or the citizenship of this nation. They can and they will be paid less, even if the skill level matches to a person who has like papers in their hands and who can basically do everything like from the scratch. Same level, same competency, same skills, but still pay them less. It profits them. Why wouldn't they do it? And if they are generating billions, if not trillions of dollars to this nation, why would you think the US or whoever gives or lets immigrants in would not let them in?
Like, I mean, yeah, for the profits, it's great.
Right.
Sure, for the companies, if they're greedy, it's great. But again, that's not all that matters. Like money isn't the only thing that matters. And for some people, unfortunately, it is. But that's what is lost on America nowadays. Everyone is so individualistic that if it doesn't benefit them, they don't give a shit.
Mm.
Like, I need something in return for me doing this. Nobody ever tries to help their neighbor if they're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares anymore. And I understand it. Like, once you put so many people from different backgrounds in a country that live around each other, why would I care about someone that, doesn't care about me, and vice versa? It's just a spinning wheel that goes nowhere. So, I mean, we need to get back in this country. We need to care about our neighbor. We should help people just because I care about them. Like, I see someone struggling, I'm going to try to help them up, and there's nothing in it for me.
Right.
Maybe there will be in the future, maybe there won't. Who cares? But I
Right.
genuinely care about this person. He's my brother, he's my neighbor, he's my sister, whatever it might be. We need to help each other, and that's what America has turned into. It's just everybody comes here to do business. Nobody cares about each other. We're going to exploit everyone else just for profit. And society can't run like that. A country can't function like that. And that's why we see America on the decline. And unfortunately, it's probably going to collapse unless something changes ASAP.
How would you say like it cannot run and function or survive if it doesn't let all these people in? Because you're like, money is not what all matters, right? I can agree to that. We should be humans first before we can tap into like material wealth or like possessions and all of that. Like what matters is how good of a moral character you have. All right, I agree to that. But how can you explain that to a nation who has the highest military budget? Who has the strongest economy in the entire world? Even let's say the state you're in right now, California, is the fourth largest economy in the entire world, more than a few countries. I think it's more than UK, Japan, Germany. So all these opportunities are here, and people are taking advantage of it, trying to live the American dream. So how can you overlook that part? Because people move here for that exact same reason, is they want a better life, they want to provide for kids. I'm sure your parents moved to this country for the American dream, and however they changed the nation shaped them to be. I won't say that's bad. It is what it is, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. America is still the best country for now
Right.
until it hasn't collapsed. Yeah, it's still the best.
Right.
But is it better than it was? No, I don't think so. I mean, just because the economy is good, I mean, again, we went out yesterday. We were asking these people, "Oh, the prices are too high. The crime is too high." So clearly, people are noticing this. I mean, it's hard not to if you're in the city and you see broken windshields of cars, or you go to the coffee shop and the coffee's $10. I mean, it's insane. Normal people can't survive, and yeah, it's still the best country. So people who come from shithole third world countries, fuck yeah, it's better. Yeah, of course, there's more opportunity, but is it better than it was? Is it going in the positive direction? I don't think so.
Would you say it's immigration or it's the inflation?
I mean, it's definitely both. Obviously, the people in power, they don't care about the people. They're printing money out of their ass.
Right.
And again, I can't blame the immigrants. If I was born in fucking India, fuck yeah, I'm coming to the U.S. Yeah, I'm coming to Canada. Like, yeah, of course, my quality of life is going to be better. But for the Canadian people or the American people, it's going to get a lot worse. And yeah, these people don't give a shit about us, and we should put pressure on the politicians, on the people passing these laws, the legislation that are the people who are printing the money, who are making lives harder for the American people to live. And yeah, we should press them, and there needs to be again a radical change.
I understand. You can press them all as it matters, because if you treat the nation like a business, they're gonna operate like a business.
Yeah.
But how you gonna bridge the gap between competency between all these immigrants with special skills and a lot to offer at a lesser price, and as compared to Americans, like an American school system, they aren't producing as many scholars as they are outside the country. Like NASA, you see all these companies, tech CEOs, all of them are not, like, most of them are immigrants. Why is that?
Again, I mean, if you look at it from the lens of it being a business
Right.
and trying to run everything as efficiently as possible, yeah, I'll hire immigrants, I'll hire people who are the most qualified, and obviously you're gonna find fucking Indians when there's 1.5 billion of them. Hopefully, there's some of them who are the best at their field.
Right.
Hopefully, there's 1.5 billion of them.
Right.
But if you want to hold a nation together, actually look for longevity, help its people, actually care for its people, then you're not going to let in immigrants who don't give a shit. You're actually going to help its people. So it goes back to what actually matters. Do these people have any morality? No, they're just treating it like a business.
And what about the people who do have morality and who do want to bow down to the U.S. Constitution and who do want to learn from Americans, who want to be part of American culture, and they don't want to infiltrate? They don't come in the country as in like, oh, I'm going to colonize their country, I'm going to push my culture, I'm going to push my religion, I'm going to push whoever I am or whoever I was back in my nation. I'm going there, I'm going to accept their rules because it's their house until I become a part of it. Is that a bad approach? Would that person should not be in the country, should not let in the country?
No, at this moment they shouldn't. And they can come with the best intentions. They could say they're going to assimilate, and they might assimilate 100%, but we're at a point in this country where we can't afford that. There's no room for them. We need to help the American people. Americans need jobs. We need to actually push these illegals out. Even some legal immigrants who aren't doing anything here, we need to send them back, because we see where the country's headed to. Most of these big cities are unbearable. I've already visited them throughout these last few months or whatever, and I'm going to go to more of them, but nobody wants to be in these cities. Everyone's leaving. Like, people don't want to be in this country. It's not the country that it once was, and obviously I wasn't alive back then, but even to the people I talk to, they see the change. They see what's happening. And it's sad to see, and no, we're not in a position to let in these other people from these other countries that might want to help and they might assimilate. No, we're not in a position to do that.
And in what terms we are not in a position for that? Because what would that be in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we need to help Americans first.
Don't want to help themselves first. Like they don't want to take the help. Like let's say you just gave an example of a homeless person in the street. Well, I think the county or whoever is in charge in San Francisco, I talked to a couple of homeless people. They say government pays us to be homeless. I don't know how much of that is true. Well, it could be take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. But like, would you work? Would you work if you had the opportunity to actually get a job, get a home, maybe potentially have a wife and children? And he's like, no, I want to be where I am. Why would I upgrade? Because I'm getting paid and I just love this lifestyle and drugs are free. What about those people? What would you say to those people who don't want to help themselves? How can the government push it down their throat?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a great point. Why would I want to help myself when somebody's helping me, funding my lifestyle? Obviously, cut that off. Like if someone's homeless and they're taking drugs, don't give them free syringes.
Right.
Don't give them a place to shoot up drugs. Obviously, cut that off and then give them an ultimatum. If you don't want to get help right now at this moment, you don't want to do better, get a job, contribute to society, then whatever. You could go be homeless. No one's helping you. You could go rot on the street. I agree with that 100%. But I think a lot of people, if you cut off, all this supply for them to survive while they are homeless, a lot of these people would actually want help. They would actually want to live. They would actually want to contribute to society. So I think most people do. I mean, I'm sure there's a few people who will never want to help themselves. Not everyone's savable, but I think most people do.
Let's say I do agree with that. But can a country, let's say if it gave a true fuck about their own people, and can it still, would you say, prevent an economy clash? Like, would you think if they stop letting the immigrants in, hypothetically, and they're only helping the Americans out, and okay, there will be, like, say, some ratio of people who are showing up and they want to take and receive help, as opposed to who don't want to be helped, who want to be and want to stay where they're at, would you think the economy would still be the same, or like would it wobble? The lives would change, the people would change, because at the end of the day, economy is what it really comes down to.
I mean, it's not just economy. Yeah, economy plays a big role, but if your people are unsatisfied, if they don't want to live in the country, they're unhappy, I mean, the economy is going to go down with it. I mean, the well-being of a nation, the well-being of a people in your nation is a lot more important, and it goes hand in hand. It's intertwined.
But don't you think that's everywhere though? Like the lifestyle that people are having, they just want to accumulate more and more. The value of money is going down because you have to pay a lot more to get a lot less now. Well, that's the case everywhere though, not just in America. And also touching points that we just talked, I think of a while ago, is the part of the change, and something with what rose, let's say Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson, all of these greats had a prime time, just like America had its prime time. Would you think it's time for America to let that ego go away and their prime, that what they want to hold on to, like yourself, and accept whatever's coming next? Or that's just a way of disaster for America?
I mean, you can accept it, and I'm sort of an accelerationist at this point. That whatever, if it's gonna happen, let it happen,
Right.
let it collapse, and then whatever's gonna happen after that, try to build up from that, try to make the most out of it. Sure, I do believe that, but I mean, if America's not a superpower, another country, another group of people will occupy it, and white people are very empathetic. We can have our own countries and not go invade everyone else. Have we tried in the past? Sure. Have we done it in the past? 100%. But there can be in America, there can be like other European countries, and we can let the other countries be. But if another country gets into power,
Right.
they're going to fuck other people over. Like, I don't think people realize how well everyone has it just because white people are in power.
You said, in the past they have just be and let be sort of attitude towards other nations. Well, Britain conquered the whole world. In that, like, what's your take on that? Because that would make your argument weak.
No, I agree. I said they have in the past, and when Britain conquered India, they conquered Africa, whatever else they conquered, they made these places better. If you look at the countries in Africa that are prosperous or semi-prosperous to this day, like South Africa, I mean, where was everything built there? When was it built? By who was it built? It was built by white people.
Right.
So people can say, oh, white people colonized us and it made us worse. I mean, you could look at countries in Africa that weren't colonized. I mean, there was a few, they're in the same boat.
Right.
They're not any way ahead. They're probably worse off if they were colonized. So I mean, where would India be without colonization? It'd be a fucking shithole,
Right.
in my opinion. And people can argue that, but you could see what technology white people brought to these countries. Yeah, were some of these people second-class citizens during that time? Sure.
Right.
Do I agree with that? Maybe not, but they brought technologies, they brought things that actually helped these nations.
But that would make your argument, what we talked about America, just as weak as because you're now like quantifying and stating like, oh, well, they brought a lot of new technology. They made these places better in terms of what? Economy and infrastructure. All right. But what about the well-being?
I mean, I would say the people were better off. They were actually 100% they were better off. I mean, look at Africa now. These different tribes are chopping each other's hands off because they don't agree with each other. Yeah, they were better off. Sure. Were they second-class citizens? Did they not have the same rights as white people? Sure. Were they better off? 100%.
Like in what terms? Like quality of living?
Yes, quality of living. They were happier. They could do more things. They were more educated. However you want to quantify it, it was better.
And that's opinion though. That's not a stat. Nothing.
I mean, I don't know how you would put this to statistics.
Right.
How would you say
No,
that?
like just put it into statistics as well-being. Like, okay, how was your lifestyle? Because let's say what I know and what I have studied growing into the Indian education system. That firstly, I don't think Indians were smart enough at that point, whenever the Britishers conquered them, because it was like 3,000 conquered like 70 million or so, like 300,000, so something like that. So the ratio was 3 to 70. So imagine 3 people, you let 3 white people let 70 people conquer, and you're complaining like, why did the white people conquer us?
Yeah.
Firstly, all right, the Indians are weak and they sound dumb when they act as a victim. I can agree to that. But secondly, Britishers came in, they built their whole entire railway network across the whole nation, which wouldn't have been the case if it wasn't for them. Agreed. But it was at the cost and exploitation, and it took a lot away from Indians and their way of living, their mental health, what they were used to and what was brought to them, and now they're conquered by those 3 people, and there's 70 of them, and now they're being told by those 3 people what to do, what time you have to wake up, what do you need to do, how are you gonna live, what are you gonna marry?
Yeah.
So their well-being is compromised at a cost of building an economy, a functional economy. So would you say that's the yin to the yang?
I mean, again, I think we should have probably never intervened. I think it's done so much more damage than it has good.
Intervene in what sense?
Like, we should have never came to those countries and tried to, fix these people. We should have let them be.
Fix what? Like I won't say you, but white people or like Britishers came to these nations to extract resources.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the trade-off was worth it. The resources for what's happening now, it was just not worth it. We should have never came into these countries. We should have let them be. They could have lived.
So you're stating and you're giving a statement that white people can make mistakes.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I see why they did it. Why they did it at that time,
right.
And where it's gotten us with maybe those resources, whatever. I see why they did it. I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but it's done a lot of harm.
But how could you have thought of the trade-off? What's the trade-off in your opinion?
What's the trade-off?
Right.
No, having all these people in your countries making it into a third world.
Right.
A lot of these people do hate white people. They want us dead. As you can see in London, in Paris, you can see who's doing the stabbings. You can see who's doing the rapings. They're all the same. So, I mean, the trade-off, I think white people could have had prosperous societies without ever invading some of these countries. And I think everyone would have been better off. And a lot of white people do have this like white savior complex. Like, again, I'm bringing up Mr. Beast again for an example.
Right,
He did
right.
like this. He raised like $12 million in like a stream, and he's gonna go try to help Africans. We've already tried that. We've built wells. He's built wells for them, and they can't maintain it.
Right.
Why the fuck are you bringing a horse to water if it's not gonna drink it? You could bring it all you want. If it's not gonna drink it, what the fuck is the point? Like, when are you gonna learn?
Will there be ever a point where they can make use of those resources? Like, can you ever change them? Like, regardless of billions of dollars you can put into these third world nations, can they actually change? If no, then why? If yes, then why?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Like I said earlier on, I think throughout generations, if you educated them and kept educating, like forced them to be educated, maybe, probably they could change. But like, why is it our job? Why is it white people's jobs to bring them wells, to bring them education when they're gonna throw them away, when they're not gonna even try to use them? If you force them, like, again, this is the same point of a colonization. Okay, you're gonna make a nation better, but then what's gonna come from that? So is it even worth it? No, I just said let them be, let them live their own lives, let them live how they want to live, and I think it's gonna work better for both people.
But that's not the case, though. If you let them be, now you have taken away what, like, these bigger nations could have offered to these third world nations, and now they're miserable than ever before, and then they might rush to these bigger countries. Is that the case?
No, they're not gonna. How can they rush to the bigger countries? They don't have planes. They don't have ships.
Mm.
Can't even get there. So I mean, is their life gonna be worse? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, again, why is it someone else's responsibility to fix another person or group or nation? Just let them be. Let them do whatever they want. I agree. It was probably a mistake to go into these countries and colonize them. Should have let them be, and we could do whatever we want on our own land.
Well, there's a lot of politics, a lot of perspective that's been shared, and now people know that what Hermes stands for and your stance in today's world. But how about we move on to some questions about your interviews?
Let's do it.
Like, has there ever been a point that you were afraid for your life when you were interviewing something? Because you know where you were headed with that, and the person was as smart, if not more smarter than you.
No, I've never been afraid of my life. There's been a few interviews where like people kind of outwit me in a sense. Sure, but I've never been like afraid. No.
Has it ever been a point in your life when you were interviewing people that you're like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, they're not going to change, and there's nothing I can do to change them. But why am I doing this?
No, I've never thought of it in that lens. Like it's not really for the person. It's kind of the people who are actually gonna see it.
Right.
So I mean, the person can say whatever the fuck they want. They could say the correct answer, what I think is right. They could say that, or they could say the dumbest thing in the world. It doesn't really matter. What I'm trying to do is get it out to a broader audience, and that's what social media is actually good for. I could reach a lot of people and try to make them think, or try to spread a message that I think is right, that I think is positive for the world. So it doesn't really matter.
Got you. And has there ever been a point that you felt bad asking questions because you might have hurt someone's feelings?
I guess there's been a few times where
because people want to know if Hermes have a heart. Now's the time.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be honest. A few times I'm like, damn, I was kind of a dickhead to that.
Right.
A few times, but I'm like, whatever, Like I knew what I meant with it. Like I wasn't really trying to harm them. Like sure, the way I came off I might have seemed like a dickhead.
Right.
But yeah.
Awesome. And where do you see your channel or your interviews going in the future? What's the end goal?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm trying to do something more serious. And again, I am trying to push a certain message, or like with certain questions I'm asking, I'm trying to make people see a different perspective than what they were taught or what they usually see. So I try to keep myself out of it for the most part. On some platforms, I'm obviously more vocal than other platforms. But, a lot of these questions, like a big reason why I think I do get a lot of views, I have gotten a lot of traction. A lot of people are scared to talk about some of these subjects. They might seem taboo, and like the people I ask on the street, some of them do have like a visceral reaction, like, whoa, you're not supposed to talk about these things. But where I see myself heading and where I see my channels heading, I guess just talk about more serious things, maybe some entertainment value, because a lot of the entertainers nowadays are just very degenerate, and they're not helping society. They're harming society in a big way. So try to do something a little more positive, not just always so negative.
Right. And what's the message you like to give to young people who look up to you?
Yeah, I mean, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Don't believe anything I say. Do your own research. Just all I want you to do is actually think, why do I believe some of the things I do believe? Like, do I actually believe these things, or were they just taught to me and now I have such a reaction to them because I think it's wrong to question them? So just think with your own head. Do things you are good at. Everybody knows what they're intrinsically good at. Everyone has their skills. Everyone has their pitfalls. I mean, if you're so good at certain aspects of yourself and your life and what you can do, it's going to outshine everything you're actually bad at. Like, people won't even see those things. So lean into what you're good at. Obviously, let your moral compass guide you. I know not everyone has it, but I mean, I would like to think most people do. Like, you know what's right from wrong.
Right.
You know, for the most part. So do what's right. I mean, try to follow what you were put on this earth to do. And most people have that compass to navigate them. And, have fun while doing it. Like, you can't have a bad time while doing it, or else what's the point? Like, if I hated every day of what I was doing, I would never do it. So
Right.
I like what I do. I enjoy what I do. And hopefully I'm making more of a positive than a negative impact.
Gotcha. And now it's time to move to the segment, and it's called the Stallions Rapid Fire Round. And as we all know, it's this or that sort of question. So it's like you would have a couple of options.
Cool.
Just pick and just go right at it. So first thing, abortions. Should abortion be a woman's 100% choice, or men should have a say too?
I think men should have a say 100%. I used to be 100% against abortion, but I think people want to have abortions, let them have it. Some people don't need kids.
Right. Is masculinity under attack, or are men just too soft now?
I mean, again, it's like the chicken, the egg. I think the first thing that came was masculinity was under attack, but when society is very good, when everything's great, like, you're gonna relax a little. Your testosterone is literally going to drop. So yeah, I think masculinity is under attack, and if you want to take over a nation, if you want people to obey, you're gonna try to make men soft, because then they can't rebel. If everyone's a soft soy boy with low testosterone, you can fucking take control of them 100%.
Who ruins society more? People in power, or just some clout chasing influencers who are influencing all these young kids and the youth of society?
I mean, the influencers, the clout chasers, they would never have any power if the people in power didn't let them have this influence. So obviously, again, it's the chicken or the egg. The people in power let these people have influence over the youth, and they push certain agendas or certain people with a certain message to detriment the youth in a certain way.
Would America be better off if religion disappeared completely?
Yeah, that's a tough question. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I think religion has been used as a control mechanism for the most part, but at the same time, it's given a lot of people morality. Whereas, I mean, I've talked to some of these atheists, and they're just completely hedonistic. They do not care. They'll do whatever. They don't actually have a moral compass. So, honestly, I would say probably more negative.
If you have to pick one thing to choose and apply to your life out of Islam, what would it be?
Out of Islam, I mean, I haven't studied it too much, but from what I do know about it is, I guess, I like what they tell women for the most part. Like, shame them if they're whores. Like, they should be afraid to, sleep around. I think that would fix a lot of problems in society. So I do like what they say about women for the most part. Maybe not stone them to death.
Right.
I don't know, that might be a little excessive. But I do like what they say about women.
And what's one thing you don't like about Islam?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a believer, they will tax you. I mean, it says in their own book, if you're not a Muslim, they want to kill you. They look at you lesser, and it's not only Islam. There's another religion that comes to mind. I won't name, but I mean, yeah, that's a big pitfall of it.
Got you. And what's the one thing you'd pick from Christianity
To apply?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I would say the 10 Commandments are a pretty solid rule book for most people.
Right.
I would say. Yeah.
And what's the one thing you hate about Christianity?
The thing I hate is, I guess it's the worship part. I guess it's the every sin is the same. Like if you believe in God, every sin can be repented. I think at a certain point you've done so much bad in your life that there's no coming back from it. Like at a certain point you should have known, you should have realized that something is wrong. Maybe what I'm doing isn't right, and I should stop doing it. But if you're on your deathbed and you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you go to heaven, like I think that's absolute insanity. I think some people are doomed to go to hell, and they can do everything in their power to try to change it, but the damage has been done.
Do you think heaven and hell exist?
I think they do, but I don't think it's in the way that most people think.
Yeah.
I think it's a higher or lower dimension, and we might evolve past emotions, the physical state, the emotional state. I do believe that. Yeah.
Gotcha. If you could ban one type of person from the gym, who would it be?
Probably the girls who like come there like dressed like absolute whores.
Right.
Like obviously they're there to get attention, or the guys who bring like a fucking camera and record themselves working out. Like, bro, nobody gives a shit. You're gay.
Okay. Andrew Tate.
The former, for the most part. Some of the things he says, sure, can be used for a positive thing. Yes, be aggressive in life. Yes, go out and take what you want. Don't be like a passive, feminine man. I agree with that, but like a lot of other people could say that without the other things he says, which have done a lot of damage, and a lot of young men nowadays kind of look down on women, or kind of try to abuse women. And I understand women are messed up. A lot of them are, but that's not the way to look at things. And he worships the material world. I mean, there's a lot more to life than just money, cars, and women. There's a lot more to that.
Right. Nick Fuentes. A loud-mouthed bastard, or an actual innovative podcaster?
I think for the most part, he's done a lot of positive for the most part. Some of the things he says, I don't agree with him. Obviously, I don't agree with everyone 100%. But, he has woken a lot of people up. He did talk about things that were unpopular and that did get him canceled, that got his bank account shut down, that got him on the no-fly list. So I do respect him for that. But I think at a certain point, you kind of have to evolve. Like, I understand he's been doing his talk show for like 8-9 years now. At a certain point, I think you have to do a little more. And I understand he's bigger than ever nowadays.
Right.
He has like 40K viewers on Rumble daily. Like, it's absolutely insane for someone who's not allowed on most social media platforms. So I think and it's very respectable that he has such a cult following of people that will back him no matter what he does. He could literally come out and flip on everything he says tomorrow, and most of these people will still back him. It's very impressive. I don't know how he's done that,
right,
but it's very respectable. I guess the problem that I have is with some of his supporters, again, the people who will back him no matter what, if they see anyone as a threat or someone that disagrees with him, they'll go and attack him, even though they might be more of a positive than a negative. And, there might be a slight few things that some person might disagree with on Nick. But I think Nick has potential. I'm curious where he will go, and I hope he kind of sets some of his followers straight so they might not, fuck other people over.
Myron Gaines.
Yeah, I think he has given a lot of young men something that they needed to hear, like a kick in the ass that maybe their father hasn't told them. Like, don't simp to these women. Don't give them everything that they want. Actually be a man. Build yourself up first. I think for the most part, he has been a positive. Again, some of these people, I don't know if it's his message or it's just some of the people that might watch him that, just go too far and they actually
Right.
start hating women and they, start going down a bad path that is just detrimental for everybody. I do respect Myron. I think he speaks his mind. I think he's very genuine. I
Right.
don't think he's scared of being canceled. I think whatever he believes, he will actually say. And clearly, he's been kicked off a few platforms, and I'm sure he's lost out on money. And I do respect him for that.
Gotcha. Gary, the numbers guy. Real numerologist or just a grifter?
No, he's a real numerologist for sure. I mean, I've applied it to my own life. I would say some of like the reasons I blew up, and maybe, obviously some of the places that I did go to, or yeah, I think it has been because of him. I think the knowledge, again, he has applied it to his own life. I've seen other people who use his knowledge to that apply it to their own life and that have been in positions that where they're successful or achieved what they want. So again, is he 100% right on everything? No, a person can't be perfect.
Right.
Every person is flawed and imperfect. So, but I think he's the best at what he does.
Mr. Beast, evil or real?
No, he's completely evil. I mean, you could just tell by his face. You could tell by his eyes. They're so like sunken in. It seems like there's nothing in there. And I mean, again, you see at the money he uses it for. He uses it for PR purposes. He goes to Africa to build wells when he knows these people can't help themselves. Where he can build wells and these people can't sustain them. And he'll keep pumping money into it. He doesn't care. He does not give a shit. It's for PR purposes. The media will love it. Okay, Mr. Beast going to Africa helping these people. How about you help people in your own country first?
I show speed. A loud mouth monkey or a genuine entertainer?
I mean, he's entertaining for sure.
Right.
I mean, he would not have that many followers if he wasn't entertaining.
But is it something a person can learn from I show speed?
Learn? Probably not. Probably not. But I mean, again, does everyone need to be a teacher? No. Some people are just purely there for entertaining. But the amount of influence he has, I think he could be doing a better job and not just acting like a clown the whole time. Obviously, I get it. He's gone to the position he's at for a certain reason. But at a certain point, you have to realize you have some responsibility. You have this many youth looking up to you. Maybe try to spread a good message sometimes.
But if you're not learning and you're consuming content, and let's say for solely entertainment purposes, how if the non-informative content is different from pornography? Because they both are dulling your mind, and you're just doing it for dopamine spike.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's much of a difference. Again, most people will have to be entertained. They need their bread and circus, and everything else. They will stay in line. So, I mean, most people just need that, and I think it's good sometimes. Some people just need to be entertained, just dulled down, and maybe they'll stay in line.
Gotcha. Well, that wraps up the Stallions rapid fire. I don't know if it was rapid enough for you guys. We just went pretty much in detail, but that wraps it up. And before we close this, I'd like to ask you, where can people find you? On Instagram, TikTok, YouTube?
Yeah, so I'm banned on TikTok. I've gone through many accounts. I don't know how many at this moment, but my main platforms are Hermes Did It Again on YouTube and Instagram, and then Chaotic Hermes on X, Twitter, and Rumble. I stream on Rumble, share my uncensored opinions on Twitter for the most part, X, and then on Instagram, YouTube, I kind of tone it down a little bit and kind of do more journalistic type approaches.
And where should people see if they want to support you or like buy your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, again, my Instagram is my biggest platform. So if you go there, Hermes Did It Again on Instagram, you'll find my merch. I don't really take donations. I don't need them at the moment. But if you want to support me, if there's something cool that I dropped, go check it out there.
And one last question, and then we can wrap it up. What's the best piece of advice you've ever given?
That I was ever given?
No, that you have ever given.
That I have ever given. Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty corny, but literally just follow your heart. Do what you want to do, because at a certain point, if you work a job or you're doing something that you don't like, how long can you keep that up? You can't keep it up forever. There's going to be a certain point where it just breaks, that you don't want to do it. You run away from it. So, I mean, every day I do what I genuinely enjoy. And I understand not everybody has the privilege of that, but you can at least try, or something that you semi enjoy. Like, I wake up every day, and if I don't want to do a certain thing, I'm not going to do it. And you're only going to give it your all. You're going to achieve your fullest potential if you want to do something, if you genuinely have a passion for it. And that's the difference between like a passion and something that, because you could be passionate about something and not want to do it that day, but you're so passionate about it that you're going to do it anyway. You're going to be forced to do it. So find something you genuinely have a passion for. And for some people, it might be less than others, but that will wake you up every day and that you're going to do. And it feels like you have a purpose in this universe.
Awesome. Well, that was Hermes for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And Hermes, thank you for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the podcast form and the style and little banter back and forth, the questions. Some of them might have caught you off guard. But for the most part, what was your experience?
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for having me on. It was a fun conversation for sure. You asked some questions that we haven't thought fully through, and kind of did catch me off guard, but that's always great to
just self-reflect and maybe learn more and just evolve, as human species. But that wraps up, and that's the episode for you guys for Stallion Confidential. And please, if you're watching this and if you've made it this far, like, comment, share this episode with all your friends, because you'll never find uncensored version of this guy anywhere else, because most of them will censor him. But that wraps up. Thank you very much for coming by.
Thanks for having me on.